Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome there for another Thirsty Thursday. And that must mean it's Movies Merica spoiler warning time. As always, I'm your humble host, Van Eberts, and I will be here to ease you into the Movies Merica spoiler warning experience here. So relax your mind, kick your feet up, find your favorite Barca lounger or beanbag chair or hammock or whatever you want to park your ass into for this show as we go over Smile 2, and it's going to be very spoiler heavy, I can assure you of that, okay? But before we get into Smile 2, let me give you something to dance to.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Yeah, there you go. Are you fired up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, after that sweet, sweet music that I just played for you there? Because I don't know about you, but I am imbibing tonight, okay? So I am getting closer and closer to the weekend, and if I'm getting closer and closer to the weekend, you are too, all right? Unless you're on some other planet, some other world or something like that. You know, maybe you're on Vulcan or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? But if you're on the same planet as me, yes, we are getting very close to the weekend here. And we're getting closer to Halloween as well. And so how appropriate that we are talking about Smile 2 tonight. And again, not just Smile 2 tonight in the live chat here when you're in the live chat. If you want to bring up any horror movie you want, by all means here. Matter of fact, if you're in the live chat here, if you can hear me, if you're thinking about getting a live chat, one thing you could do is in the live chat, just let me know what your favorite horror movie is, all right? And if you want to expand on that and let me know why, by all means, you can definitely do that. But real quick, let me welcome my movie maniacs, yes, and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics here to the proceedings, yes. And like I mentioned here, live chat, you can get into the live chat on Rumble and YouTube and keep everyone company in there. I see my man Lindy Rigg is in the live chat on the Rumble side right there. And really, the Rumble side is how to watch the show. It's the best place to watch this show, okay? Because you could watch it on YouTube, but YouTube is, I always equate it to like this, you know, old rundown retirement village. When you walk in, immediately the smell of stale piss hits you right in the face like a big pissy wall, you know, and it just smells like death and shame in there. That's YouTube, basically, okay? Because they are the censorship capital of the video platforms out there, where Rumble's like, you know what? Hey, we trust you to be adults. We're not going to try to be mommy and daddy, okay? If you don't like something, you just won't watch it. We're not going to try to keep it from you or anything like that. Okay, so that's what I like about Rumble right there. And they don't censor things, you know, so they allow you to be an adult and make up your own mind right there. But all right, let's do this here. Well, let's get into some Smile 2. Why don't we here? As I get all choked up there for some reason. I don't know what that was all about. I was just getting all emotional over Smile 2 already. I'm kind of like one of those, white dudes for Kamala. I'm kind of beta, I'm kind of just one of those guys. I'm living a vag-tastic life, even though I'm a dude, that kind of thing. So it's, hopefully I'm not that. But I had my doubts there when I was getting all emotional as I was going through there. So, but the, Smile 2, part of Smile 2 and part of Smile 1, rather, is there's a main character where you've got the smile demon that's driving them crazy, slowly but definitely surely here. And Smile 2, no, it's not the story of, Britney Spears going crazy or anything like that. So, I mean, we got the Britney Spears right there. It's not the story of that. there. Okay, so although that would be a very interesting movie, I thought that for a second, but when Skye Riley, our main character here in Smile 2, the pop star main character, was going nuts well into the movie. Okay, but I mean, back to Britney Spears. Oh, poor Britney, from Oops, I Did It Again to Oops, Wrong Padded Room. And Skye's descent into madness did remind me of Virginia Madsen's descent into madness during that Candyman movie that came out back in '92. Now, this is the good Candyman movie, all right? Not the crappy, shitty, woke one that came out a couple years ago that was teaching us white people a good lesson there, white people, okay? Don't you forget, white people, you're the only bad race. You're the only race that's ever made mistakes. Black people, we are spotless. We are flawless. We've never made any mistakes whatsoever. So we are in the perfect position to lecture you, white people. Not that Candyman. 92, where the one in 92 where their objective was to entertain, to frighten you, to amaze your eyes, not to lecture you. That kind of thing right there. So yes, I love it. I love it. And I gotta love it right there. Agent X6 here is joining us also in the Rumble live chat as well. And Agent X6 is one of the grizzled veterans along with Lindy Rigg as well here. And they always spice up the proceedings here. And so I'm sure that Lindy Rigg and Agent X6, they have a favorite horror movie of all time there that perhaps they will share with myself and all of you there. And as we go through our Smile 2 here. But as you see here, we got Virginia Madsen on the screen, and she was a star of the 92 Candyman. And in that movie, it was Candyman slowly driving her crazy, right? As Candyman is putting her through all these bloody, disgusting, gruesome situations, and she doesn't know what's real and what's fake, and doesn't know what's going on. She's getting framed for murder, and it's fascinating to watch in the 1992 Candyman right there. But it's and you get more of that in Smile 2. But in this case, it's Skye Riley, of course, the pop star, being eased, or not eased, but being led down this tunnel of terror, this tunnel of madness here by the Smile demon. And you see it because she sees, who is it, Lewis, the drug dealer. He kills himself, and by taking like this 35-pound plate, and just smashing his face in, and which was, I have to say, one of the more original gruesome kills that I have seen. It's been something that I have not seen in a movie that I can recall. Someone taking a 35-pound weight and just bashing their face in, and they did it where he was doing it slowly, right? He would take the weight, he would just boom, like smash his face in as hard as he possibly could once, and then pause for like a few seconds, and all of a sudden, boom, and he'd lower the plate. You just see his face like slowly, drastically, not drastically, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like basically just progressively just getting more disgusting and gross. You see bone, you see chunks of flesh, and his jaw is falling off. It's just nasty, and you really have to admire, and you're amazed at what the makeup artists can do in these movies here. So you got Agent X6 right here, stepping up to the plate here with his favorites, a couple of his favorite movies here: Alien and Event Horizon. Yeah, Alien, a classic Alien movie from Ridley Scott that started it all. It put Sigourney Weaver on the map, and it basically just started. It was like, we had Star Wars a couple of years before Alien, right? And Star Wars was boo, 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 and droids and Death Stars and Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and the Force and all that. And so after Star Wars was a big hit in '77, then of course, as you would imagine, every movie studio, they wanted their own hit space movie, right? And so Ridley Scott had just done a movie called The Duelists, which was like this, 18th century period piece with Harvey Keitel playing a duelist, right? And it's very room at the view, very prim and proper. And again, it's this period piece movie and whatnot. And Ridley Scott was originally going to do something else after The Duelist, but then he saw what a hit Star Wars was, and he wanted a piece of the space game, right? And so he wanted to make it a space movie. But Ridley Scott didn't want to do pew, 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 little Star Wars stuff, and lightsabers and all that stuff. He wanted to do something darker. So thanks to Ridley Scott, we got Alien. They're based off a story by Dan O'Bannon, who went on and wrote Aliens and other stuff and that kind of thing. And then Event Horizon is a whole nother level of dark space movie right there. I would dare say even darker than Alien, because it incorporates supernatural elements into it as well, and some really cool gothic visuals in it. Okay, I mean, the Event Horizon, the spaceship itself, it has like these over the top, like nonsensical, totally unneeded, cool gothic. It has this cool gothic aesthetic, to it, where you've got this ball, the I guess the core of the Event Horizon that brings you into the bloody bowels of hell through space and that kind of thing. And it's got spikes and shit all over it. It looks like something straight out of Hot Topic, right? And all these corridors in the Event Horizon has got spikes and teeth and just all this shit. It's like a really cool looking ship to it right there. And so it's got, Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill, a few years after he was in Jurassic Park, just banking and cashing in that Jurassic Park success. And then you've got the infamous scene, the video scene in Event Horizon, where it shows the original crew of the Event Horizon doing ungodly things to each other and bloody, gruesome, horror-tastic things to each other. Very, very scary. Then it goes on to say, I don't mind the Conjuring movies either. They're creepy fun and about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Yeah, I mean, yeah, doesn't Patrick Wilson and what's her name? I was about to see. It happened again. Now I got a name that's blocking a name. I've got the name Ava Longoria blocking the name of whoever it is that plays Lorraine Warren right there. But I know Patrick Wilson plays Ed there. And then, but yeah, the Conjuring movies are fantastic. The first Conjuring movie, and the second one a little bit, does kind of remind me of those old 70s. Vera Farmiga. Thank you, Agent X6. Thank you. That's one of the benefits of having live chat right there, and having go-to guys and gals in the live chat is information. But yeah, Vera Farmiga here, and so yeah, The Conjuring just reminded me of like those classic 70s possession movies like The Exorcist and The Omen and Amityville Horror, and it's really good at, it does a very good job at character development, where you don't want anything to happen to Ed and Lorraine and their daughter, and then they have this family that is being terrorized by the spirit. I guess it's the spirit of this lady in the house who did evil things. I'm not going to ruin the whole movie of The Conjuring, because obviously there could be some people that haven't seen The Conjuring there. But yeah, really good, really scary visuals in The Conjuring. But back to the family. So what I was getting at is, with the family, you get to know the family. You really want them to live, and you don't want anything bad to happen to the family, in addition to Ed and Lorraine Warren. But yeah, fantastic movie. So yeah, tip-top choices there, Agent X6 or Alien or Event Horizon, The Conjuring right there. So yeah, chef's kiss right there. You have great taste in horror movies for sure there. So absolutely. And so yeah, and again, like I said here, everybody, just to switch it up here a little bit. Again, if you guys are drinking here, because I know I'm drinking, I'm about to take a tug off this bad boy right there. if you guys, got yourself some booze or whatever, or maybe you're down south and you're sipping on some sweet tea, okay, and you're sipping some sweet tea, hey, by all means, man, chug that, okay, because I'm not gonna chug this, but because I'm a classy, civilized gentleman, I don't chug. Oh yeah, needed that. That is for sure. So absolutely, yeah. Agent X6. One of these days, StreamYard. Well, let me try. I'm going to try right here. Let's see here. Nope. Yep. Yeah. StreamYard just can't get its act together and get the Rumble emojis there going right there. So yeah, because I want to see the emojis. I want to show the gifs there up on the screen there from StreamYard or from Rumble, I should say, right there. But oh yeah, another Conjuring movie is set to come out next year. Yeah, I would be more excited if the last one that they came out with was better. I didn't really like it. Agent X6, what did you think? Did you see the most recent Conjuring movie there? As I adjust myself, the chair, that is, not myself. But yeah, they had that Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It movie that came out a couple years ago. And I just wasn't that impressed with that one. It wasn't near as good as the first two Conjuring movies. But the first Conjuring movie was such a hit. It just kicked off this whole Conjuring cinematic universe, because now you got Annabelle movies and then The Nun, those movies. None of those are as good as the actual Conjuring movies there. But it kicked off, that whole Conjuring cinematic universe. So no Spider-Man, no Iron Man in those ones right there. But just kicked all of that off right there. But back to Smile 2. Smile 2, I find that guessing about what the Smile Demons, if that's even an accurate way of describing it, what the Smile Demons' origins are. Again, the Smile Demon is the main baddie of the Smile movies, okay? It's the evil entity that causes everything, all right? That provides the horror in the movie there. And so it's just fascinating, and it's scintillating to try to guess as to what its origins are. I mean, what is this thing? What is this thing that we're seeing on the screen? What is this? What are the scary, ghastly thing come from? Now, myself being a Christian and believing in God and the devil and heaven and hell, I'll be honest with you, my mind goes straight to this is something that's dispatched by the devil, Satan, Beelzebub, Joy Reid, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I mean it's got all the markers of something from hell. It warps and twists something that God made, which would be us. Okay, it's transmitted through death and someone seeing death. So in the case of Smile 2, you get Lewis. He's the first character in Smile 2 that you see kind of start the traditional Smile cycle, where the Smile Demon finally has had its way, its fill of Lewis, and possesses Lewis, and then possesses Lewis enough to get Lewis to kill himself again, like I was saying before, with that 35-pound weight plate there. And so he kills himself, and then the curse is transmitted by having somebody watch that person kill themselves. So I guess that's why, the Smile Demon had Lewis kill himself when it did, because it was waiting for somebody to come over. It was waiting for a witness, right? And of course, Skye comes over to grab some drugs. She's got back pain and she needs her fix right there, and so that's why. And that's the thing about Smile 2. Did you notice that with Smile 2, she would have even had to go to Lewis's, where she ended up contracting the smile curse. She wouldn't even had to go over there, except she was in her bathroom at her place, and she was about to take, her Vicodin or whatever she was taking, and her mother startles her, and she drops the pills, the Vicodin, down the sink in her bathroom. Well, if that had never happened, she wouldn't have had to go over to Lewis's, and this story would have never started. So it's kind of interesting how that little detail started her off this, this breadcrumb trail, if that's how I should say it, there down to her path to destruction there. But it's, as far as like trying to figure out what caused or what this thing is, what the smile demon is, I just don't know. Now I've got a video here that I am going to show you here that I think it has some interesting ideas as far as what this smile demon could be and whatnot. Now the video is kind of long, but it is worth it. Okay, insert Michael Scott joke here. So, all right, I'm just going to excuse myself to the video right here. But yeah, this video's got some interesting things, some interesting theories or questions about the what the smile demon is, and some other questions about the smile movies right here. Real quick, Agent X6. Yeah, I'm with you. The first couple were best. Still hopeful for the next one being improved over the last. Yeah, so I think they just kind of phoned in that third Conjuring there, but I mean it's got to work really hard over some very good horror movies that we've had in the last couple of years. We're talking Late Night with the Devil and Long Legs and Talk to Me and Barbarian and all kinds of great movies. We just had a lot of people like the Terrifier movies and whatnot, so those there. But let's get to the video here and check that out.
The creepiest antagonists in horror movies are those who aren't well sketched out for the viewers. The element of mystery makes it scarier for the audience, and it's the same for the entity who preys upon victims that fall into the curse in the Smile franchise. After the horrifying events of the first movie, the saga continues, and the entity has found new victims in Smile 2. From the looks of it, the series is all set to continue as the entity is still at large. But what's the true nature of this supernatural entity? Is it a demonic being, or simply a manifestation of one's trauma bonded with a paranormal force? In this video, we'll dive into the depths of the nightmarish entity in the Smile franchise, and also elaborate on its unique anatomy. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, a demonic creature of sorts, that preys on hapless victims in the mortal realm. This entity feeds off physical trauma and enjoys the pain of its victims. The curse of the Smile affects an individual immediately after they witness someone killing themselves, after the entity drives them to the brink of insanity. The witness is then subject to the same kind of torture and hallucinations, and the entity eventually leads him or her to certain death. There's a theory that suggests that the entity collects the souls of its victims and keeps growing stronger with each new target. It's called the Smile Curse because an eerie smile can be seen on the faces of the victims in their final moments, as they kill themselves in the most graphic and violent ways. A smile is a conventional way to deal with pain, and the entity's methods serve as an allegory to deal with trauma, or as a lesson for what happens when one doesn't. How long has the Smile entity been preying on people? How did the entity originate? Although it hasn't been clearly indicated in the franchise how the mysterious entity that takes over its victims originated, there are some hints that point to a certain timeline. For instance, it's mentioned that the entity has taken over 19 other people before the events of the first film. At least, these are the known numbers, and given how the victim is usually mentally tortured and subjected to hell before being forced to kill themselves in a matter of days, the entity has been around fairly recently. Of course, there's always a chance that the entity has existed for years, and the records of its previous victims are just missing. The origin of the entity is shrouded in mystery, but there are a few theories around it that make a lot of sense. Since it's almost confirmed that the entity is demonic in nature, it was probably summoned from the depths of hell. Some tortured individual might have summoned the demonic entity through certain rituals, and the motive may have been some kind of revenge. As a result, the entity got stuck in the mortal realm and kept spreading the curse from one victim to another. Given the sadistic nature of the entity, it's quite likely that it enjoys torturing its victims and leading them to gruesome deaths. Another probable origin story of the entity might be related to the dark side of human psychology. There's a chance that it feeds on trauma and psychological issues because it was born from there, and the entity might be more of a consciousness attached to the darkness associated with humanity. It latches on to any similar trace of darkness, and the curse is the easy mode of infecting new individuals to continue the chain reaction. This does take away the supernatural element to some extent, but it's still a force that cannot be explained using rational terms.
How do we stop it?
We need to kill you first.
What?
How can one skip the curse? Once someone is subjected to the curse of the smile entity, there's no easy way out. That being said, there have been a couple instances where an individual managed to skip over the curse using a clever tactic. Robert Talley killed a stranger before a witness, and this allowed him to pass the curse onto the witness. It was almost like the entity was drawn to the witness, but that didn't spare Robert completely, because it got him a life sentence for murder. It was revealed that Robert learned about this method from another person who survived using a similar method. This was a Brazilian man who killed his neighbor in front of the neighbor's wife, and the demonic entity passed on to her. However, so far in the Smile franchise, there hasn't been a way to get rid of the demonic entity completely. Even the two individuals who managed to transfer the curse suffered jail time as a consequence, and lived the rest of their lives in constant fear. Is there another way to outsmart the impact of the curse? Once someone is infected by the curse, it's almost game over for the individual, and it means inevitable death after a point of time. Killing someone in front of a witness in order to escape the curse in exchange for jail time is not a sustainable solution. But there is one that can probably work. What if the victim subjects him or herself to complete social isolation? This is easier said than done, but if executed properly, this can be quite effective. It would be just the individual and the demon till the end of eternity, but it can successfully break the chain. Even if the entity kills the individual, there would be no next victim to latch onto, and it's assumed that the entity wouldn't survive without a host. Of course, the biggest challenge to this is the manipulative nature of the entity, and it will try its best to convince the individual into finding someone. Another way to outsmart the curse could be to subject the victim into a medically induced coma for a very long time. He or she would still be alive, but there would be no way for the entity to torment them, unless it does so in their subconscious. We're of the opinion that if the future of the franchise throws up certain options to evade the curse, it will probably come at the cost of someone sacrificing themselves for the greater good.
Gemma?
How do the shapeshifting powers of the entity work? The Smile entity is a master shapeshifter, and it can freely transform into any individual at will. This adds to the deception that the entity can create, and we've seen it disguised as multiple individuals across 2 movies. It can maintain the facade of the fake appearance for as long as is required, and the main motive is mostly to enjoy the shock and horror in the victim. Also, the shapeshifting ability helps the victim stay clear of any real help, and allows the entity to manipulate them just as it wants. When the entity shapeshifts, it can also mimic the voice of the person it is posing as, but there have been times when the entity posed as someone and used a demonic form of them to torment the victim. For instance, at the end of the first movie, it appeared before Rose as a demonic version of her mother, and in Smile 2, it appeared as Skye's own demonic version in the climactic moments. What is the real appearance of the entity? It is extremely difficult to figure out the true appearance of the Smile entity, since it's so good at shapeshifting. However, there have been a couple of moments in both Smile and Smile 2 that have given us a glimpse of the original appearance of the malevolent force. As it turns out, the actual form of the demon is stuff that makes up nightmares, and even looking at it for a prolonged period of time can drive someone to insanity. The entity has a tall, red humanoid figure, and there are several smiling mouths packed into one to give it a grotesque feeling. Also, the beady round eyes and lanky thin arms add to its terrifying presence, as does the skinless appearance, which makes it look like a flayed corpse. It seems to be much larger than a regular human, and stands at roughly 5 meters, but there's a chance that it can change its shape at will, so the true size of the entity will remain a mystery. The true appearance of the entity is only visible to the one affected by the curse, which is why we see Rose experiencing the morbid being at the end of Smile, and Skye witnessing similar horror in the final scene of Smile 2. Can the entity possess a strong-willed individual with a clear conscience? As we've already discussed, the supernatural force in the Smile franchise tends to prey upon those who have some serious psychological issues or past trauma. Even those who are on the wrong side of the law and have indulged in criminal practices can be easy victims because their conscience is damaged. In Smile 2, we see something similar in the drug dealer Lewis, who becomes an easy target for the entity. Even in the first movie, the victims of the Smile entity were those with a troubled past. The protagonist of Smile was a psychiatrist named Rose Cotter, who had a traumatic childhood experience where her mother passed away in front of her from a drug overdose. Now, we can't help but wonder if people who actually have no such trauma, or the ones who are extremely strong-willed, can also be manipulated by the entity. The thing about the curse is that the entity does manipulate its next victim to some extent, but it cannot really choose the next one to fall under the curse. Thus, there might be circumstances where someone quite normal and strong-willed can also be sucked into the fatal grip of the entity. The cop who helped Rose in the first movie, and yet, the entity didn't spare him in the sequel. Also, it's impossible for a regular person to have no psychological issues whatsoever, because everyone carries their emotional baggage to some extent. Thus, the idea of a perfect person who can deter the entity is quite utopian, and we haven't seen anything like it yet. Has the entity evolved into a more powerful being in Smile 2? The malevolent Smile entity, also referred to as the Smiler by many, has grown significantly more savage and deadlier in the recently released sequel, and the director Parker Finn has also confirmed the same in an interview. Similar to the events of the first film, the Smiler finds itself a new target in the form of a popular pop star, and there are several moments in Smile 2 that hint towards a stronger entity. Some of the methods of deception used to mentally torment Skye, the protagonist of Smile 2, are truly harrowing, and it's safe to say that she has it worse than her predecessor, Rose, even though they eventually meet the same fate. For starters, Skye is a lot more troubled than Rose, and this helped the entity grow stronger while it latched onto her because it feeds off people's trauma. Rose's trauma was way back in her childhood, and Skye's tragic loss of her partner was very recent. She also involved herself with substance abuse, unlike Rose, who stayed clear of pills. The director also admitted that he wanted new ways to scare the viewers, and this meant that he had to think outside of the box when it came to the entity. Also, if you go by theory of the entity, growing stronger with each soul that it collects along the way, it makes sense that it would be more powerful than the first movie because there have been quite a few victims along the way. If there's a Smile 3, which is quite likely to happen in the near future, we will probably get to see an even more powerful version of the Smiler. What is the personality of the Smile entity like? As a malevolent demonic entity, the Smiler has a personality that fits the most evil thing that you can imagine. It's absolutely ruthless, cruel, and sadistic, and it derives great pleasure in psychologically damaging its victims. It can probably kill the victims within a couple of days, but it extends the run simply for the fun of driving them to the brink of insanity before making them kill themselves in the most gruesome manner. The entity is also quite cunning and intelligent, and there have been times when we've seen how deceitful it can be. The scene where the entity presented itself as Rose's therapist was a shocking moment, and there's a similar moment in Smile 2 when it deceives Skye by posing as her best friend and misleading her. The conniving nature of the entity helps it in dragging the victims further into the depths of its sinister plans. Can the Smile entity infect multiple individuals? The end of Smile 2 has kept people guessing about the nature of the entity, and much of it is because of how the witness to the last victim killing itself is an entire gallery of viewers. The concert is about to kick off when Skye kills herself on stage, and the horrified fans can all become the next victims of the entity. If that's the way ahead for Smile 3, we're looking at a much larger impact, and it's no longer about moving on from one victim to another. If the thousands of fans present there are infected, so will be several others watching live on TV, and it will start a chain reaction that will eventually consume just about everyone. Unless, of course, someone is quick enough to come up with a plan to get rid of the entity once and for all. What can be done to banish the entity back to its realm? Can it be killed or destroyed? If this is indeed a demonic entity, it's a fair assumption that it came from some hellish realm, and there can be no easy way to kill it permanently. There have been a few innovative theories around this, and one of them was there for us to see in Smile 2, as there is a plan to deprive the entity of a host. It's believed that the Smile entity cannot survive without a host to prey upon, and if a death can be faked, then it can be lured out and cast aside. Of course, it doesn't work at all in the movie, but it's still a plan that can be attempted later. The origin of the entity might also hold the key to its possible banishment. If the entity was indeed summoned using certain rituals, the same can be done to push it back into the realm where it belongs. Also, there might be a chance to weaken the entity if one of its victims ends up being a morally correct, strong-willed, and stable individual who doesn't offer any scope for the entity to feed on his or her insecurities and fears. The right methods of exorcism by someone powerful enough to counter the entity might also prove to be fruitful, but this is a little too far-fetched because we haven't seen anything like this in the first two movies yet. Marvelous Verdict, a worthy horror antagonist to fear. After decades of entertainment, courtesy of the likes of Freddy Krueger, Jason, and many more, there has been a scarcity in the recent past. The recent advent of Art the Clown and the Smile entity are quite promising in this regard, because they can potentially end up spawning long-running franchises. The Smiler has all the ingredients to turn into the perfect horror antagonist, and we would love more on its origins in the next movie. Now, all it needs is a worthy competitor, because no one has posed a challenge before the entity yet. Do let us know in the comments below what you think of the mysterious Smile entity, and feel free to add your input regarding the potential origin.
All right, so yeah, as you can see, and as you can hear, he had some thoughts about the Smile demon there. I'm still sticking to my theory that it's something, straight out of the seventh layer of hell, right? It's basically was hanging out with Saddam Hussein and whoever else, Gaddafi and Ted Kennedy, and got dispatched, by the big red dude with a pitchfork and horns, right, to the earth, right? So, or it could have been something where it got trapped, here on earth somehow, in the world of the occult or something like that. Or yeah, I think probably something more like Satan likes to. It's like one of Satan's demons and it's here to warp and twist, creations of God. And because, God is the God of light and peace and tranquility and whatnot. So, and then that's part of what the devil does as a screw you to God, right? So as to get under God's skin, to spite God, is take what God's created and warp and twist it and distort it and just make it something ugly, right? Yeah, it making everything chaotic and that kind of thing. And the smile demon in the Smile movies definitely does that. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with the Smile 3. Like he was saying, there's definitely gonna be a Smile 3, because Smile 2 made some respectable bank in its debut weekend, this past weekend here, and so it's going to it's going to get a third installment there, and it would be a shame if it did not, because given the ending of Smile 2, where Skye Riley offs herself in concert right in front of thousands of people, and of course that's how if you know how the Smile curse works, if you're there and you witness somebody with the curse kill themselves, then now guess what? You've got the curse, and you've got this Madison Square Garden full crowd that just witnessed Skye Riley just take a microphone and just impale herself through her face, which that's the thing I'll say about this Smile demon. He has the victims use some objects that you would, at first glance go, that's not a very, very effective way to kill yourself. That's not the kind of object I would use. It's not the most efficient killing tool. But, when that Smile demon has possession of you and it wants to kill you bad enough, you imagine it's got the force of hell behind it to give you the strength to take a microphone and literally impale your face with it. And that whole scene where she's doing that, and they actually don't show her impaling her face with it. You just hear it, and it just sounds gross and disgusting. And instead, the movie concentrate on showing you the crowd and their reaction. And of course, the whole crowd's like, "Oh my God!" It's just and you're puking your guts out. And they're just shocked and whatnot. And I thought that was a good decision by the director to just show us what the crowd's reaction is to this horrific thing that they're seeing in front of them there. I thought that was that's a master stroke, that's for sure. So, all right, everybody, real quick here, let me tell you guys about our tdpn.locals.com website up there, okay? And that's our Till Death Podcast Network website, where we have all our great content like videos, blogs, articles, all about things like movies and entertainment and politics and hot button topics of the day. Just funnies in there as well. Drink recipes. I think there's a spicy old-fashioned recipe in there. If that sounds good to you, sounds pretty damn good to me. And so you're going to see all that stuff in there in a format that you're not going to find anywhere else, okay? Pardon me. But you can only see that if you go to tdpn.locals.com. And as you see down below, checking out the good news down below, if you put in promo code TDPN, you get 1 month free membership to the website. That means you are a VIP, baby. All right. You can sit up in the VIP lounge. You get to go to the champagne room. You get bottle service. All right. Please don't touch the girls, though. Still can't touch the girls. Okay. There you go. You do that, you're going to get hauled out by some no-neck bouncer holding a clipboard. All right, so there you go. Don't make me send Marcus after you. All right, so you're a VIP for free for 1 month. And then after that, it's just a measly $3 minimum to continue your VIP status at clubtdpn.locals.com. All right, so you'll still hear the the techno music and whatnot. So there you go. But get there and check that out right now. And then also, if you would, while I'm thinking about it, hit that like button down there. All right, it's calling to you. It's calling your name. That like button's like, please click on me. You're the best. Click on me. Okay, so and hey, you want to answer the call? All right, so I don't know why the like button sounds like a little bug, but I don't know. I mean, I always picture the like button having a voice, but Barry White, come on down and I want you to click on me, baby. So yeah, kind of a Barry White thing, but I don't know. And then also you have the subscribe or follow button down there as well. Click on that if you haven't already. If you already have, don't click it again because then you'll unfollow or unsubscribe. And then also hit that notification bell down there as well to get notified of brand new, piping hot, fresh episodes of Movies Merica as they're being pulled out of the Movies Merica oven. All right. For that fresh Movies Merica taste just for you. Okay. But you're not going to know unless you hit that notification bell. Again, if you've already hit it, don't hit it again. All right, there you go. Good advice for Diddy. All right. And then also, if you're not watching this show live, if you're watching this later on, get in the comments down below. All right, get in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the episode. Is it boring as hell? Is it exciting? Is it, is it the most exciting thing you ever saw? You were giving up hope on life, and then you saw this episode, and you're like, oh my God, your show has breathed new life into me then. Or, again, it could be the polar opposite of that, like, oh my God, I was having a good day until I saw your shitty show, Van. And then also, hey, if you want, again, the comments are there for your imagination to take, control. You can comment whatever you want. And, one suggestion, what's your favorite horror movie? Or did you see Smile 2? What's your favorite part? Or did you just outright hate it? That kind of thing. That's what the comments are there for. All right. So, all right, let's talk about some more Smile 2, shall we? Because we got a lot of Smile 2 to talk about. And Smile 2, it had me fooled when I saw that Kyle Gallner was in this, because Kyle Gallner, he was a somewhat main character in the first Smile. Of course, he played Sosie Bacon's, or Rose, I think was her character's name. He played Rose's ex-cop boyfriend, because she was like engaged to A-Train from The Boys. All right, the guy who plays A-Train in The Boys played her fiance in the first Smile, and so, but she ended up having to reach out to her ex-boyfriend, played by Kyle Gallner, and he was cast in Smile 2. He's part of the cast there, so it fooled me. I was thinking, oh, hey, he's going to be kind of around, with in the movie. Kind of like remember Ali Larder right here. Ali Larder was, in I think like at least the two first Final Destination movies there, where she was a constant character in those movies for a while, kind of letting the new characters know this is how death works, and this is what's happening is. You can't escape death. Death has a design, and you can't ruin the design, that kind of thing. And I think she eventually ends up getting off, I think, in the second or third Final Destination movie right there. But so again, I thought Kyle Gallner was going to be in this. He's going to be just kind of the Obi-Wan Kenobi leading the next main curse victim through how to deal with this. Again, our the main curse victim in Smile 2 is Riley Skye Riley, the pop star. Okay, so the Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande kind of pop star right there. But however, we saw a pickup truck had something else to say about that whole theory of mine about Kyle, and we see Gallner's Joel character turned into roadkill and a pretty gruesome road smile there. Okay, so, and right before that, they had that really great opening scene before that with some gritty, bloody crime thriller action that actually felt more like a Narc, the movie Narc. Remember the movie Narc? Joe Carnahan directed it. It had the late great Ray Liotta in it, and Jason Patrick from The Lost Boys. It was like that dark, moody, gritty, bloody cop drama. And then the first part of the very first opening sequence, or the opening sequence to Smile 2 before the title card came up, kind of reminded me of that. Kind of reminded me of like True Detective and The Wire, that kind of thing. So it was a very cool beginning of it. And I also have to say that this is the second movie in a few months where a major character is a pop star in the movie. So first we had the movie Trap a couple months ago here. Remember the Josh Hartnett one where he plays the serial killer and he's at the concert with his daughter. and they have the arena that the concert's at all surrounded in order to catch him. Okay, and so he's trying to figure out a way to get out of there, to get away from the cops. And so the concert, the pop star in the movie Trap, is called her name is Lady Raven. Okay, and then we have Smile 2 now with the pop star Skye Riley. And Skye's character is actually more realistic, whereas Lady Raven, played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, and M. Night Shyamalan directed Trap. So she was just there for her dad to show off his little girl's talents, her musical talent there. So I don't know what's scarier, a terrifying smile demon from hell, or Nepo babies. Ooh, very, very scary, if I do say so myself right there. Let's check the chat here. Let's check out here, see what we've got right there. And we've got, it's a Lindy Rick. It's the physical manifestation of Kamala's cackle right there. It was that image of the smile demon from the first Smile movie, where the smile demon is still kind of in the image of Rose's mother. And then, of course, the smile demon, rips its face off and reveals this even more grotesque version of it right there. So, but yeah, that's exactly what you have in your head. You want to stick your head in an oven when you hear Kamala's, cackle there, and as we all know, she does that when she realizes, she doesn't have a good answer, or when she's nervous, that kind of thing right there. And then we got Smile 3, Kamala's Revenge, coming this Halloween. There, the curse was killed with Epstein. No one witnessed that one. Yeah, so unless some poor puppy dogs witnessed there, because Epstein was that piece of shit there where he would do scientific experiments on dogs there. So what a piece of shit. As if he didn't need another reason to hate Dr. Fauci, or as he wants you to call him, the science. There you got that right there. And Age 6, he's already writing up the screenplay for a future movie. Diddy, with baby oil in hand, makes Sauron tremble with fear. Yes, it's so that's the kind of evil that Sauron unleashes right there. Okay, when he's out of orcs, he dispatches Diddy and his Costco quantities of baby oil on unsuspecting people named Justin Bieber and other innocent victims and all that stuff right there. But yeah, it's amazing, that whole story right there. It kind of makes you wonder, who's the big star right now that in 20 years we're going to learn about, this big debauchery scandal that they're going with right now. Who could it be right now? Is it going to be Harry Styles, or who could it be, Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift, or who's going to be that big, Bruno Mars or something like that, right? Not that Bruno Mars is that big a deal anymore, but you never know. You never know. And that's the point. You never know. So there you go. It's to quote Denzel Washington from Training Day right there. So, all right, let's do this here real quick. I'm getting thirsty. All right. So my dry throat is telling me that it's time for a little brew review time, and I'm going to answer the call. So here we go. All right, my friends here in the live chat and those that are just lurking in the background or who are watching this episode later on, let me introduce you to my new friend Arca Beer, which is a Indian-style premium lager. Okay, so, and Arca, no, it's not the name of a new prescription drug. Ask your doctor if Arca is right for you. No, nothing like that. Or it's not the name of some James Bond villain's company or something like that. So no, it's just, Arca, I'm sure it means something in India, and I was just too lazy to look up what it means there. So who knows? Or it's an acronym for something. Who knows? But All I know, one thing I can tell you is it is an Indian-style premium lager, and it's brewed by a company named Druid. Okay, so this is a very obscure beer. Probably not going to be able to go to your local bait shop, your bait and beer shop, and grab yourself some Arca. Okay, of course they'll have Bud Light Tranny Fluid and Milwaukee's Beast and Old Style and all that stuff. All the classics, right? But probably not some Arca. So I would recommend getting some Arca right here. It's got this brewed with this specialty malt and rice, and it's got it does have like a citrusy nose to it right there. Like I was gonna say orange, but it's got like some grapefruit in there. If I sniff it, let me get really. Okay, yeah, maybe not sniff that much, but there you go. That's all I need is beer shooting right up my nostrils right there, and then I'll be out here on camera. I'm coughing, I can't talk. But it's got a good citrusy nose to it, and it's very well balanced. It's got a good crisp finish to it, and I'm not getting any money from this beer company from Druid. Okay, and so it's a completely objective opinion right here. If it tasted like dog shit, I would tell you it tastes like dog shit. Okay, there you go. So, but I'm going to take a tug off this bad boy right here, if you don't mind. Excellent. All right. But yeah, that's my new friend, Arca, the Indian-style premium lager from the land of Indians. Dots, not feathers, that is right there. So, and that has been Brew Review Time. All right. I'm such an expert. I know. Let's get this right this time. Here we go again. A well-oiled machine around here, I tell you. So well-oiled, that is for sure there. So, I mean, kids, don't try this at home. That's all I can tell you. But real quick here, let me tell you about our excellent merch that we have available to you. And look at those sweet, sweet T-shirts. Look at those sweet T-shirts. Like, oh, admire them all. Wow, look at that. That's so cool. And right now, they're available, okay? So all you got to do is go to the merch link down in the description, okay? Probably easier than having to type in that web address there on the left. But, probably just go to the merch link down in the description and grab yourself a Movies Merica t-shirt right there. As you see, we got them in black, got them in gray. Sure, we got them in some other colors as well. And up your cool factor with a Movies Merica t-shirt, okay? And you can wear it around, and people are like, "Where is that? Like, what's Movies Merica? Tell me more about it." Wow, you're so badass, my man. What the hell, Because I mean, I know I walk around, my town with my Movies Merica t-shirts, and literally, I get that. It's like that meme, where a couple's walking by, and the dude looks behind him at some hotter chick and whatnot. Well, I'm the hotter chick, all right, because I'm wearing the Movies Merica t-shirt right there, okay? I don't know how many times I've seen a couple walk by, and, the lady, she looks back at me, with eyes wanting because I'm wearing my Movies Merica t-shirts, okay? And you could get yourself one right now by clicking on that merch link. And then we also have other merch down there as well with Movies Merica emblazoned on it. So we got shot glasses and phone cases and yoga pants and all kinds of goodies down there. And last time I checked, we've got Christmas and Kwanzaa and Festivus and Hanukkah all coming up. And, nothing says Shalom or Happy Hanukkah like a Movies Merica t-shirt right there. Okay, so, you know what? You got 8 crazy nights of Hanukkah. You can pick yourself up 8 Movies Merica t-shirts and give them to 8 people right there. Don't you love symmetry? It's so awesome right there. So, and as you see, we got other t-shirts from other Till Death Podcast Network shows as well. You got the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast and Till Death Podcast and Sip with Sean. We got our Otter t-shirts there. something tells me, I know I hate to admit it, but something tells me that Otter t-shirt probably going to be the biggest seller right there. But I don't know. You could prove me wrong and, get some Movies Merica, get a Movies Merica t-shirt right there. Okay, so, all right, enough about that right there. We are moving on and got some other movie points to go over here with Smile 2. Okay, and I got to say, so the one of the things that Smile 2 suffers from is it's more of the same from the first one, okay? But it does have a different flavor to it, but it just suffers from having to rehash the known territory. The first Smile movie had the luxury of being the first one out of the gate, okay? And so it was this new, fresh, novel concept there. I remember Smile marketing. They had like people, they had actors like were like at baseball games, because the first Smile movie came out during the Major League Baseball playoffs, like this one came out, and they would have like people like actors doing creepy smiles behind home plate, as part of the marketing and that kind of thing. And so so Smile 1 had that whole freshness, newest, that novelty advantage to it, but not so much with Smile 2. We've seen this, but sort of like how the Final Destination series, for example, just rehashes that same formula. Like, the first one, it was the airplane that blew up and they escaped death from that, and then the second one was the big road catastrophe, all the car accident, all the cars and the big pile up and all that shit, and you had certain characters that escaped that, and they had to escape death and that kind of. And then I think the third one was a roller coaster, and the fourth one was a bridge collapse. Like, I just, same formula, just in a different flavor. Okay, and so that's but I have to say the new flavor, though, even though it is a new flavor, the new flavor is tasty in Smile 2 in some spots. The flashback, that to what led to a tragedy that, that's a big driver of the plot. So, of course, I'm referring to when Skye is having a flashback or is shown how the car accident that her and her boyfriend were in a year ago that killed her boyfriend, the actor, Tom, I forget what his name was in the movie there. But, you see the flashback there, and it just shows just how fucked up she was and her boyfriend were, because they were both like just coked up out of their mind, right? And they were just talking, just saying nasty, ugly things to each other. And the picture that it shows right here, this dude, that's her boyfriend that was killed in the accident. But right now, you're seeing him seeing him possessed by the Smile demon as part of an hallucination here that the Smile demon is showing to Skye Riley. She's, at that dinner doing the speech and whatnot. And if this guy looks familiar, as you may have, heard on my spoiler-free review that I did back on Sunday, this guy looks eerily similar to Jack Nicholson. Well, that would be because that's Jack Nicholson's kid right there. So that's a Ray Nicholson. And in that picture, and at least that picture, he looks like the spitting image of his old man, Jack Nicholson. And to me, he looks like how Jack Nicholson looked at the end of The Shining. Remember when at the end of The Shining they had that black and white picture hanging on the wall of all the people at the Overlook Hotel, and they're at this New Year's Eve party, and they show Jack Torrance, Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining, there in the picture, in the black and white picture with them, and he's got that creepy grin, just like his son Ray Nicholson has right here. So it's very uncanny. So what was that? 44 years ago, The Shining came out, and here we have 44 years later, his son is in this movie, given the same creepy grin, a grin that would make his old man proud right there. So his old man might have been, planning on ordering a code red on him, but not anymore, because he's made his father so proud right there. But then we learn, of course, in that sequence, the flashback of the accident, that them arguing back with each other his her boyfriend's like saying horrible things like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. You're a psycho bitch. I so fucking hate you. You're a psycho. And apparently him calling her a psycho was, one step too far for her. And so she grabs the wheel and spins the car into the accident, and they go flying off this big drop off, and he gets killed in the accident, and she gets severely wounded. So basically she killed her boyfriend, because she was out of her mind on drugs. And so that flashback, that was a different flavor from the first movie. And that was a tasty flavor right there, because it gives the movie, more darkness and gravitas, and it gives her character more depth. You're like, oh my God, this is not some goody two-shoes character right there. This is not some innocent bystander. She's a piece of shit. Okay. Right here. And then, of course, one thing that's completely different from the first movie is, again, that opening sequence that we saw, that bloody, gritty crime thriller sequence there, where you got people getting shot and their throats are getting slit, and dudes are getting crushed by pickup trucks. In this case, Joel, but he thinks he's getting away. He's making a run for it, trying to get away from the drug dealers that are shooting at him. Runs out in the middle of the road and boom, just gets schmucked by, looks like a Dodge Ram pickup or something like that, and it just tears them to pieces. And they really put their best foot forward to the end of that scene right there. And of course, what I mean is like his decapitated foot that you see there on the road. It's just just gross. It's pure horror movie greatness right there. And how many horror movies has that happened in, right, where you see a character and you think they're getting away, they run out into the road and they get schmucked by a bus, or something like that, or a truck or a garbage truck, and next thing you know, in 1 second they're a human being, the next second they're strawberry jam all over the road. It's just very, very fucked up, that's for sure. There, but the point there is that, Smile 2, it does suffer from it just being a sequel and having to rehash the same formula, but, with a different flavor in a slightly different way there. So, all right, let's check the live chat here real quick. And, Lindy Rigg, we've got here, and then right here we got Friday the 13th was just an angry goalie killing teens for banging, and then in space for no reason. Still awesome. Yes, exactly. So Friday the 13th, I remember like when I first saw them as, a teenager, and I thought that, they were scary as hell because, the gore in those was pretty shocking for back then. Now it's pretty tame compared to, the Terrifier movies and stuff like that. Or another movie like Lindy Rigg, I don't know if you saw the movie In a Violent Nature that came out a little earlier this year, where the gimmick's kind of insulting, but the premise of it is it's one of the first movies, I can't think of any other movie before this one, where the premise of it is you are seeing everything from the advantage point of the killer, okay, of the psycho that's doing all the killing there. And so In a Violent Nature, the killer in that reminds me of Jason, because you see him, you're seeing the movie from his perspective. You're walking behind this killer, and he just walks really slowly, and he's well built. He looks like he's built like a brick shit house, and he's just going around and just coldly just killing people left and right. And he seems indestructible, like Jason does, right? Even when you think Jason is dead, all it takes is one lightning bolt, right? He's resurrected, that kind of thing. And so, In a Violent Nature is like Jason, but it's not, because to be honest, if you watch some of the Friday the 13th movies now, they kind of come off as corny, especially like Jason Takes Manhattan, right? It's kind of corny. But this movie, In a Violent Nature, is far from corny. It's very dark, very matter of fact. It's very kind of art house a little bit to it, but it's a slow burn, because again, you're walking behind this very slow walking, brutal killer that all it does is walk around and just kill people. And it's got some horrifically brutal kills in it. But In a Violent Nature, it's on if you've got Shudder, if you've got AMC, then you get Shudder for free, or you can get like Shudder, like a monthly free trial. And Shudder's got In a Violent Nature. It's got Late Night with the Devil. Orbital is another good horror movie that's on there right now. I'm not getting any money from Shudder or AMC there, but yeah, Lindy Riggs, since you mentioned Friday the 13th, what I thought the perfect time to let you know about In a Violent Nature is the name of the movie that came out. I think it came out like in February or March or something like that, but brutal, man, brutal, but without the cornball of some of the Friday the 13th movies there. So all right, let's do this here real quick and tell you about a great sponsor of ours, and that is Flip City Magazine. And you may be wondering what Flip City Magazine is. Well, remember Mad Magazine and Cracked Magazine, right? Those are some funny magazines you could pick up back in the day, back when magazines were a big, big thing, right? Not so much anymore. That's why we got these things right here. So, and this is our Mad Magazine nowadays, right? Our smartphones there, but magazines are still around. Obviously, we have Flip City Magazine that I'm talking about, but a phone just doesn't, do justice. It's just not the same great experience as picking up a magazine, right? And so Flip City, what it is it's taking over where Mad Magazine and Crack Magazine left off, because unfortunately, Mad Magazine and Crack, they had their brains broken by the election of one Donald J. Trump in 2016. Because as you would imagine, a comedy magazine, the writers and the other employees, they probably all went to J school, journalism school, and all got indoctrinated, with the commie teachings and that kind of thing. And so somebody like Trump, is the devil to them, right? And so when Trump got elected, it broke their brains, and so they allowed themselves to get assimilated into the woke Borg, but not Flip City, all right? But instead of me telling you about it, let's hear it straight from the source.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
All right, yeah. So that should have you all fired up and primed and ready to rock down in the description to click that Flip City link right now, okay, to get yourself some Flip City Magazine. And then as you see down below, when you order your Flip City Magazine, if you put in promo code MOVIES, you're going to get 10% off your order of that best non-woke comic around, all right? And just to show you that I'm not bullshitting you, I've got some Flip City Magazine right here. So I practice what I preach, okay? So don't pull a Madonna. Papa, don't preach, all right? I got me some Flip City right here. And look at that artwork. Isn't that sweet? Look at that. You got Sports Infiltrated right there. Let's flip through here a little bit. Look at that. Great artwork as well. No, that's not me. All right, so I know you all think it is. But yeah, great. Got great comic strips in there. Look at all that. Just fantastic. Yeah, looks like we got a little cock and balls right there with Joe Biden on there. So that's a Yeah, that's an unsavory thought. I'm going to put that down there. So, but that notwithstanding, yeah, grab yourself some Flip City magazine right there. And again, you know what to do. Get down in the description and click on that Flip City link, everybody. Do it. All right, let's do this. All right. So again, yeah, Flip City magazine, and it's something you can put on your coffee table. So when you have, if you're a dude, you get a total smoke show over to your place, you know what? She's going to see that Flip City magazine on your coffee table, and dude, you're going to be in. You're going to be in, if you know what I'm saying. All right, there you go. That's I've heard stories. I've heard success stories. All right, so I mean, there was Dear Penthouse. Well, now we have Dear Flip City. I never thought that I would get Amanda over to my place. When I did, she saw my Flip City magazine, and wowie zowie, wow, she rocked my. That could be your story, okay? If you get yourself some Flip City magazine right there. That's how I roll. All right, so check out here. See if I want to make sure I'm not ignoring anybody here. No, I think we are good right there. So right now is it's time, everybody, for my favorite segment of every Movies Merica spoiler warning episode, and that, of course, is the movie military moment. All right, and we're going to get into that. But what is the movie military moment? You may be asking if you've never seen an episode before, and what's the connection between movies and the military? Well, I shall tell you. So the connection is, as you would imagine, somebody that is awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's what the movie military moment's all about. Is I'm honoring recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor. If you've been awarded that medal, well, you didn't get it for being the best booger picker on base, or the best dude on the Air Force bowling team, or being the best letter sorter at the base post office. No, you got it for doing some hellaciously cool shit to see with your own eyes, like you're in Guadalcanal during World War II, and you got this Japanese battalion coming after you, and you see a bunch of Japs, and they're about to attack your friends, and your friends need some covering fire. They need somebody to distract them, otherwise they're about to get bayoneted to death. They're going to get grenaded. Well, then you go in there and you start mowing down Japs and opening yourself up with no cover and whatsoever, and you save lives. Or another thing, like you're in Vietnam, and you're a helicopter pilot, and you land in a hot LZ, and you got Viet Cong, and they're firing rounds at your Huey the whole time, and you even got your commanding officer, on the radio going, "Get your ass back here! That LZ's too hot." And you're like, "Can't do it, sir. I got to get this ammo down to our troops. I got to pick up the wounded, man. I'm getting down there. I'm going down there anyway." And your Huey's getting shot to shit, right? And you get down there and you save some people because you picked up the wounded, and you saved lives because you dropped off the ammo and all that stuff right there. So cool shit for you to see on the screen. So if you saw all that stuff on a big movie screen in front of you, that would be a cool movie military moment, okay? That's the connection right there, okay? So as we get into our movie military moment, a cool segment like this deserves a sweet, sweet intro. And so here that is. Right. So then we are going to be honoring a Commander Casson Young in this movie military moment. And Commander Young fought in World War II on the USS Vestal, or Vestal. I'm going to go with Vestal right here in World War II. And I believe that Commander Young deserves some badass music to accompany his story, as we learn his story and how he what he did to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor right there. And so let's get that music going right now as we learn more about Commander Casson Young. Let's do it. This is the movie Military Moment. And in this movie Military Moment, we are going to honor Commander Cassin Young, who fought in World War II. And let's learn more about what he did to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. For distinguished conduct in action, outstanding heroism, and utter disregard of his own safety above and beyond the call of duty as commanding officer of the USS Vestal during the attack on the fleet in Pearl Harbor, territory of Hawaii, by enemy Japanese forces on 7 December 1941. Commander Young proceeded to the bridge and later took personal command of the 3-inch anti-aircraft gun. When blown overboard by the blast of the forward magazine explosion of the USS Arizona, to which the USS Vestal was moored, he swam back to his ship. The entire forward part of the USS Arizona was a blazing inferno with oil of fire on the water between the two ships. As a result of several bomb hits, the USS Vestal was afire in several places, was settling and taking on a list. Despite severe enemy bombing and strafing at the time, and his shocking experience of having been blown overboard, Commander Young, with extreme coolness and calmness, moved his ship to an anchorage distant from the USS Arizona and subsequently beached the USS Vestal upon determining that such action was required to save his ship. And we salute you, Commander Cassin Young, for what you did to save lives and be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor as a result. And that has been the movie Military Moments. All right, so thank you very much for your kind attention to that military movie or movie Military Moment. And yeah, if you know of any of the relatives of Commander Cassin Young, or maybe you're a friend of the family or something, let them know of this segment right here. And I would think that if I were a loved one of Commander Young or a friend of of his family or something like that, I think that I would be touched, and I would appreciate seeing someone honoring their friend, their loved one. Okay, but with that, again, that's been our movie Military Moment. All right. And hey, just to remind you, if you guys are appreciating what you guys are hearing or appreciating this episode, or overall what I do as your humble host for Movies Merica. Of course, I am Movies Merica, but my God-given name is Van Ebert there. But yeah, if you appreciate this episode or any other episodes I do enough to throw a little cashola my way, well, you most certainly can do that. I will not be offended at all, okay? And let me give you a couple of ways you can do that. So if you're on Rumble, you can give me what's called a Rumble rant, and it's very easy to do. All you have to do is down by where you type in your live chat message, there's a button that has a $sign on it, and just got to click on that. It'll ask you how much you want to donate, and that's it. Okay, so I'll take $1 or $2 or 10 or whatever you have on you. I know we live in the times of Kamalanomics, and money is a little tighter and whatnot. So, but whatever you can give, or if not, that's totally cool. I am not offended there. I just appreciate you watching right now. Even better if you're watching and you're live chatting. Okay, so now if you're just watching and you're if you're not live chatting, you're what we call a lurker. Okay, and you could graduate from being a lurker and graduate up to being just a total badass. Okay, and that goes for the guys and the gals by getting in the live chat and just saying hello, how you doing? You can just do an emoji, do a thumbs up emoji, or just a wave emoji or something like that. Don't even have to put words in there, okay? If you don't want to mix it up with everybody or mix it up with me. Or you can get in the live chat and you can let me know, if you're enjoying the episode or what's your favorite horror movie, that kind of thing, as I adjust my contact lens right here. I love that. That's kind of hazards of the trade here with having a big, bright light shining right on your eyeball the whole time. But another way you can donate here is if you're watching on YouTube, you can give me what's called a super chat. And how you do that is very similar to how you do on a Rumble. So on YouTube, down by where you type in your live chat message there, if you're typing in hello or whatever, there's a button that has a dollar bill on it. And when you click on that, again, it'll just ask you how much you want to donate. And you just put how much you want to donate. Very easy. That's it. That's all there is to it. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy right there. And again, I'm not going to be one of those guys that guilt trips you and, oh, man, you better, donate my way. You're not very classy if you don't give me money. I see shows do that, and it's just pathetic. They don't realize how pathetic and sad they look. So, but, if you could do something for me that's absolutely free to you, it's cost you absolutely nothing, hit the like button right there. You could do that. That costs you nothing. Or you could send the link to this show. Okay, so you're watching it on YouTube or Rumble. Just copy that URL up there in the address bar and just send that over to to your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, your grandma, your Uncle Merle, whoever. Just send it to them, and so they can watch this episode or any of my other movies, Merica episodes, and I got a lot of them out there. They can watch that because chances are I have an episode out there for I'm sure a whole bunch of movies that they would appreciate seeing a review for there. And my episodes are episodes where I do spoiler-free reviews on movies, and I also have episodes like this one where I do a deep dive, I do an autopsy on a movie with heavy spoilers in it there. So, if they've seen the movie before, they're probably going to enjoy the spoiler-heavy stuff, right? Because everybody's seen it and they just want to see somebody just discuss the movie or something like that. If they haven't seen the movie, the spoiler-free review is going to be right up their alley. But they're only going to know about that if you send them the link there, okay? So that's the way we do that. And then also, on whatever platform you're checking me out on, hit that follow or subscribe button, okay? Just very easy. Again, doesn't cost you any money. Now, again, if you've already done it in the past, don't click on it again. Otherwise, you'll unfollow or unsubscribe, okay? And just to let you guys know, if you do follow me, let me know on X, because if you go to my @MoviesMerica profile on X and just DM me there, just let me know, hey, Van, I followed you on this platform and that platform and that platform, and then I will follow you back right there because you know what? You were a true American, all right? You stepped up to the plate, you cowboyed up, and you followed me, and you know what? I should reward that. I mean, that's the right thing to do, all right? And I will reward you by following you back on that platform right there. Absolutely. And, hey, maybe I might, slip in a meatloaf recipe in there, something like that. Give you a little bonus, maybe a good pepperoni pizza recipe. Something, that's the kind of guy that I am. I want to look out for you. All right. So there we go. All right. Let me take a tug off this brew right here, the Arca again. So here we go. And again, if you're drinking right now, I know anybody that's watching right now. All right. Grab your beverage of choice and take a little tug off that because I know I'm doing it right here. All right. I'm going to wet my whistle because I've got, something to say about the next thing that I want to talk about right here. And that is some news headlines. I want to check out some news headlines that I saw here via some X posts that I saw here. And I want to show you these right here because these are some stories that I think you definitely need to see as I put this up here on the stage right there. So let me get in here. And the first story that I want to talk about here is Michael Keaton. All right. So right here, we've got Michael Keaton. I'm just going to go ahead and come into here. I want to play this video there for you. So let's check this out.
Guys mostly, I guess. Hey, hi, Michael. For some of you folks who, guys mostly, I guess, who are thinking about attending a rally with Musk and Trump, they don't really respect you. They laugh at you behind your back. They think you're stupid. They don't want to hang out with you. They have nothing in common with you. They're not your bros. And I'm telling you, when Trump years ago, I guess, said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they'd still vote for me, basically what he's saying in parentheses is, These people are so stupid. They're so dumb. They'd still vote for me. They have no respect for you. Trust me. Hey, hi, Mike.
Yeah, so that's pretty disappointing right there. He's quoting what was obviously a joke from Donald Trump. So I know these people know what a joke is, all right? But since they hate Donald Trump, they purposely pretend they purposely turn off their sense of humor and pretend what they would attribute as a joke to anybody that they like. They don't give Donald Trump the same courtesy, and they just assume like, oh, he's totally serious. He thinks he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, and people would still vote for him. Like that's clearly anybody with a brain or anybody that doesn't have severe TDS like Michael Keaton obviously does would know the guy was joking right there. But as you see right here, I say sadly, Michael Keaton is the latest example of and I'm sure I'm not alone, take that most actors use so much of their time and effort to be brilliant at one thing. It makes them retarded about pretty much everything else, especially politics. You broke my heart, Mr. Mom. I knew it was you, Michael Keaton. You broke my heart there. But I mean, that's kind of naive on my part. I mean, you have to assume that actors, as brilliant as they are at their craft, or some of them are brilliant, others really suck. But some of our most brilliant actors are complete retards when it comes to things that matter in life, like politics and whatnot. So they live in their little la-la land, their little bubble land, their little land of, of cushiness and comfort and, champagne and houses, in Malibu and limos and all that stuff. Classic limousine liberals like Michael Keaton right here. And so the only thing they know about politics is what their PR people tell them to know, and then their PR people tell them what they should think about politics and that kind of thing. They just have a very shallow. I mean, the depth of their political understanding is the depth that you see in a Dixie cup. I mean, that shallow right there, and so it's just amazing. And I remember, like, I miss the good old days before social media. Like back in the 80s, when you'd see actors and actresses put on these great performances in these movies, whether you thought they were cool or dramatic, or they made you cry, or they made you like fist, pump your fist, yeah, and you thought, part of you thought, wow, in real life, they're at least part of them, they're partly like this character, that they're playing right here, like a just like Schwarzenegger is just like Commando. He's like John Matrix in the Commando, or in Commando, or Stallone. Well, Stallone's a bad example because he's conservative. He's one of the rare actors that knows what's up. He's got enough brain cells to be conservative here. So, but back then, actors and actresses had this mystique because there was no social media that they could use to expose just how fucking stupid they are when it comes to anything outside of acting. Okay. So most actors, most actors have like one talent and one talent only, acting. A few of them have more than one talent. You've got Tom Hardy. He's not only an actor, he's an MMA fighter as well. Okay. You have got, Tom Cruise and John Travolta. They're also pilots, okay? So they're not just actors; they're actors and they're pilots, okay? Harrison Ford, before he was an actor, he was a carpenter, but that was back in the 70s. So I don't know if he's a very good carpenter anymore. And he's a pilot as well. He can't land very well, as we saw a few years ago. But he's a pilot, okay? And he might be a carpenter still. But those are like the diamonds in the rough. Those are the exceptions to the rules. Most actors are just outright, just completely fucking moronic and don't know shit about shit when it comes to the real world and things that matter and that kind of thing. And Michael Keaton, he could have kept us in the dark and could have maintained that mystique for himself. But you know what? He had to go out there and run his mouth. Okay. And the weird thing about this video here, if you see this video, he almost looks like it's a hostage video. I'm this right
They
here.
have no respect for you. Trust
Let's
me.
turn off the volume. And doesn't it kind of look like a hostage video, right? He's just sitting here, and it's poorly produced, and he's got this look of distress on his face, and then his claim is just sophomoric. It's that of a child, like they're all laughing at you behind your back. He's like he acts like he's omnipresent, like he knows everybody and what they're doing and that kind of thing. And it's like this cheap, childish attempt to get you to not vote for Trump by saying these people are laughing at you behind the scene. They're laughing at you. Michael Keaton, you don't know shit. All right, you don't know shit. All right, so maybe you're subscribing to your own line from Batman. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. You sound nuts right now. Well, you don't sound nuts. You just sound like a fucking tard. Is what you sound like, Michael Keaton, in this. I mean, but it's a shame. It's just because this makes it hard. At least it makes it hard for me. Insert pun here. To separate the art from the artist, right? Because I want to be able to watch Batman and Mr. Mom and The Dream Team and Birdman and other great Michael Keaton movies. I just had one that came out not too long ago called Knox Goes Away that he directed. It's a great Michael Keaton movie, but that movie's ruined for me now because I have a harder and harder time separating the art from the artist here. And so Michael Keaton just and this guy, he's in his 70s now. Can you imagine how fucking moronic he was about this stuff back in the day when he was making Mr. Mom and Johnny Dangerously and making Batman and Beetlejuice, also back in the 80s and whatnot? I mean, they say you get wiser with age. Can you imagine what a friggin' mouth breather this guy was back in the 80s about this kind of stuff? Just nuts. But he's got a very shallow understanding of at least politics and in that regard things that matter in life right there. So but it's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. So let's go ahead and move to our next story that I wanted to show you here. And this is this one broke my heart as well. And this is Robert Downey Jr. wishes Elon Musk would control his behavior, would control his behavior, unquote, right here. Robert Downey Jr. goes on to say, I've only met him a few times as an almost 60-year-old recovering white American male. I just wish that he would control his behavior a little more, but that's not on me there, okay? And so it's just sad. What did I put on here? Here, I just put, how many things would Robert Downey Jr. have to say about Elon's behavior if he was a raging Democrat? It's less than zero. Okay, so to refer to a classic Robert Downey Jr. movie from the 1980s there. But again, that is, just sad to see with Robert Downey Jr., but it goes back to what I was saying. You just pretty much have to just assume that your favorite actor or actresses have just got the political understanding of a fourth grader. Okay. They just, and also the tact of a fourth grader, right? Because you would hope that they'd be smart enough to go, yes, all right, I just, they have to, you think they have the self-awareness to realize I don't have a very thorough understanding of politics. I haven't studied on, the policies and what was on this in this bill and what's the platform for this guy and what's ramifications of what this politician did and how it affects the real people. And they haven't done an autopsy. They haven't done a deep dive. They haven't done, the critical thinking when it comes to that. And I would think that they would be smart enough and self-aware enough to go, because I haven't done that, it's so easy for me to just shut the fuck up and not talk about politics right now. All you gotta do is just shut up. That's all you gotta do. It takes less effort to just shut the fuck up. That's all you gotta do. That's it. That's all you gotta do. And then if I hate Trump, I'll just go to the ballot box, in November and vote for, Kamala instead. Very easy. But as we all know, actors and actresses, part of the thing that makes them want to be actors and actresses is they're very emotional. Okay. Actors are more emotional than your typical alpha males. Okay. Now there are some actors where they're like, all right, yeah, this is got kind of an alpha male kind of dude. Your Alan Richmond's, or Alan Richson. There you go, Alan Richson. Harrison Ford kind of comes off as kind of an alpha male as well, that kind of thing. But in spite of that, though, they are still probably, on par with, basically compared to just regular Joes. Your plumbers, your the guy who works at your gun shop. Their T levels are probably markedly lower than your just everyday alpha male dude. Okay, they're emotional. So because they're emotional, they can't control their emotions, all right? Or they need to work harder at controlling their emotions. And this is Robert Downey Jr. putting this out there. This is an emotional decision, all right? This is about feelings, okay? His emotions made him do something stupid, like run his mouth in this way. Kind of like emotions plus booze, makes you go and call your ex-girlfriend that you should probably have never contacted again. The whole, did you drink and dial, that kind of thing. But this, I don't know, maybe he was hammered out of his gourd when he decided to put this statement out there, speaking of Robert Downey Jr., of course. But a lot of it was probably emotions, and he didn't bother controlling his emotions and that kind of thing. And that's the thing about Donald Trump. If you're more emotion, if you're more feeling than brain, okay, if your heart is 10 times the size of your brain, then yes, Donald J. Trump is going to make you lash out. Okay, so and if your brain was bigger, you'd realize, okay, yes, okay, he does sophomoric things. He says childish things. He says garish, bloviating things. He bloviates a lot and that kind of thing. Says things about people on X and Truth Social, and talks about grabbing pussy and all this stuff. He insults celebrities and so if you're a delicate, fragile, sensitive soul, that stuff does get to you. Okay, me, I'm a dude. I'm just like, all right, yes. Would I say that? Probably not. But I hinged my voting decision on policies. All right, I'm very pragmatic. Who I vote for, I base it on what is going to affect my life. Okay, I know it's mind blowing, right? Like, what's going to affect my life? Like, if I vote for you, am I going to be able to buy a house? Am I going to lose my house? Am I going to be able to buy groceries or not? Am I going to have to, eat at a soup kitchen for the next year? If I vote for you, are we going to be invaded by even more illegal immigrants, and then they're going to take over a country and start killing us? Or is Russia going to attack us? Is China going to launch a cyber attack, like stuff like the things that will actually affect you? That's what I base my vote on, but not people like Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Keaton. They base who they pick based on emotion. Like Ben Shapiro, whatever you think of him, there's facts. Don't care about your feelings. That's a good saying. I mean, you should go off of facts, not feelings. There and Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Keaton, the Rob Reiners, the Mark Ruffalos, they go off of, they're men, but they go off of feelings and emotion because they're more delicate and sensitive and fragile than your typical dudes are out there. And so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the after effects, the characteristics, the calling card of a more delicate, fragile, sensitive dude like Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Keaton, in them taking these stances here politically right there. But yeah, it still breaks you hot right there, seeing it there. And we got some good comments right here. What's the one right here? This right here. Somebody had what did some of them here? Oh yeah. being outspoken politically, I'm sure he said the same to Ruffalo. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that, he's, Mark Ruffalo, who he's been, obviously in some Marvel movies with and whatnot. I'm sure he has no problem with Mark Ruffalo going out there and running his mouth about politics and that kind of thing. So, but I mean, and if Robert Downey Jr. is referring to like Elon Musk doing his goofy dancing, which I thought was goofy as well, and he was on there, when he was on stage with, Trump. Well, that's not gross. When he was on stage with Trump and he was like doing this weird, on the spectrum, dancing and hopping around. I thought that was kind of goofy and whatnot, but look at Tim Walz. I mean, like the ticket that obviously Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Keaton are going to vote for. Look at Tim Walz. He's Mr. Jonathan, and he's like walking around and all this, doing this and that kind of thing. Goes, hi, how you doing? How you doing? Yay! Like that's Tim Walz right there. That's who's on the ticket that you think is so fucking great and that you're going to vote for right there. So cast that intense judgment, not just on the Trump ticket, on the Kamala ticket as well right there. So like know what the fuck you're talking about before you come out with takes like this. But I think that's what we're going to see here, in the next because as of when I made this episode right here, it's 12 days before the 2024 presidential election. And so in the next few days, because this is like in the last couple of weeks, that's when the celebrities coming out. You get the X posts or the articles coming out. This celebrity, Lizzo's endorsed Kamala, and Winona Ryder is endorsed Kamala, and this celebrity and that celebrity. You just constantly see these. Celebrity X endorsed Kamala. So we've been seeing that for like the last 2 weeks, and then we're going to really start seeing that ramp up here in the next 12 days. Along with, the Kamala campaign coming out with desperate claims about Trump. I mean, like the latest one came out yesterday where they were accusing Trump of saying he wishes his generals were more like Hitler's generals. And the other one was he offered to pay for the funeral of this, I think she was in the Army, this vet who was killed in Texas by an illegal immigrant. Her name is Vanessa Guillen. And Trump paid for her funeral for the family. And so the latest smear tactic that the Kamala campaign used is that he said it cost $60,000 to bury a fucking Mexican. Like that was the scandal, right? And so right now what they're doing is trying to manufacture these October surprises, as they're called. So we're going to see a bunch more of those, all the way up until Election Day. So because they're desperate. They're sadly, pathetically desperate right there. So, but again, along with that, you're going to see, all these celebrities coming out here. Alan Richson from Reacher endorses Kamala. Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter has endorsed Kamala. You're going to see more and more of that and that kind of thing. And the only people that really care about celebrities endorsing candidates enough to where they're going to change their vote are people that are going to vote for the Democrat anyway. It's the kind of people that they're like, all right, I'm going to vote for. I don't know what their name is. What's the name of the person that has a D behind their name? Oh, Joe Smith. Yeah, I'm voting for. What's his name again? Joe Smith. Yeah, I'm voting for Joe Smith. Like that's what most Democrats do, particularly celebrities. That's their very in-depth selection method. Is they're like, who's the celebrity with the D behind it, or who's the guy with the, Joe Smith. Yeah, that's the length. That is the breadth of their selection research right there. So that's how that goes there. All right. So I just wanted to go over a couple of news stories involving celebrities there because the election is coming up here. Again, like I said, it's coming up in 12 days as of the taping of this episode, as I sit up in better posture, like my mommy always used to tell me right there. So, but so let me know what you guys think about those news stories there in the live chat or in the comments later on, that kind of thing. So, but those are some hot button stories that I wanted to go over with you guys there. All right, so let me take a little drink off of here. Again, if you're drinking, hey, take a tug right now, just like I am. Oh, yeah. Love it. I love it there. Okay, so da-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. All right. So I don't know what would have possibly put the McDonald's, catchphrase, the old one slogan in my head. Maybe it was Trump going out to Mickey D's and working the fries like a boss right there. I love it. There, gotta love it. All right. So one thing, let me do this real quick. I want to remind you that the movie for next week is going to be the Babylon Bee. Their first movie, okay, their very first movie, their movie debut. It's going to be the Babylon Bee movie, January 6th, the most deadliest day. That'll be the movie that I will be reviewing next week. So I'm going to be doing my spoiler-free review of that this Sunday afternoon. And as always, that's my Movies Merica live show that comes out on Sunday afternoons at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, 2 Mountain, and 1 Pacific, okay? And then a week from now, the Movies Merica spoiler warning show. I know it's Halloween, but maybe you'll still watch, okay? Maybe you can, watch for a few minutes, okay? That will be my spoiler-heavy show about January 6th, the most deadliest day. And it's I've seen it already. It's quite hilarious and whatnot. And so I would see it. I'll spoil my spoiler-free review on Sunday here because it's movies that good and it needs to be seen that much right there. Okay, so I'm not going to bury the lead. Okay, so I'll spoil my own episode. But yeah, you should check out January 6th, the most deadliest day. It's on Babylon Bee. Okay, so if you go to babylonbee.com, I imagine is probably their web address. Go to babylonbee.com and sign up for a month, and you're going to get access to January 6th, the most deadliest day, and all their other content. I'm not getting any money from Babylon Bee, but I want to turn you on to a movie that I think is going to make you piss your pants out loud. Piss your pants out loud? My God, that makes no sense, man. What the hell are you talking about, man? It's going to make you piss your pants because it's funny. All right there. It's got Kyle Mann. It's got Siaka Massaquoi. The Babylon Bee cast of characters. Seth Dillon, he's in it for a little bit right there. So a lot of the familiar Babylon Bee faces there. But so that'll be that there. So check that out. So first on this Sunday again. So and the best way to know when the show is going to come on or to be able to watch the show is if you just go to my X profile. It's at Movies Merica. You'll see the link there on Sunday for the Movies Merica live show, all about, again, January 6th, the most deadliest day, the day where AOC almost died. Oh, my God. And democracy almost died, too. Thank God it didn't. Thank God. We defeated that evil Donald Trump on January 6th right there. Yes. All right. So it's right now, I'm just like, people are just like,
you are a retard.
Yep, this show is going.
She's gone from suck to blow.
That's for sure right there. Okay, so let's check out here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody right there. And hey, we got Mr. Scott Awesome here in the show right there. And he says, howdy. How you doing? Tip your hat to the cowboy, Mr. Scott Awesome right there. Howdy, how you doing? He says some people like those sounds right there. So yeah. Yeah, some sounds right there. Got some other good sounds right there. We got the who doesn't like the sound of people applauding them right there? So or got some classics here.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
Right there. That, of course, is from Superbad right there. Gotta love it. But yeah, good to see you there, Mr. Scott Awesome right there. And goes, have you tried making any mukbang videos right there. No, I have not. I have not right there as of yet, right there. But you know what? I'll look into that. I'll look into that. So, but yeah, Mr. Scott, awesome. Yeah, I'm about to wrap things up here and whatnot, but I'm glad you made it here. But real quick, Mr. Scott, awesome. So, real quick here, like I think you told me like your favorite scary movie here. I think it was you that said it was The People Under the Stairs, if I remember correctly. But if it's not, let me know what your favorite scary movie is, or your second favorite scary movie. If it was you that told me The People Under the Stairs right there, because that's what I've asked other people tonight in the live chat to do is, what's your favorite scary movie, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm talking about right there. And that kind of common sense is not allowed anymore. Yeah, there's a shortage of common sense in this supposedly more enlightened, progressive society right now. So right now, because remember, Mr. Scott Awesome, I don't know if you remember. I remember back in like the 90s or even the 2000s, people knew what a woman was back then. Apparently, too many people have forgotten what a woman is nowadays. So you have to point out simple things that we took for granted that everybody just knew simply back in the day. And now, even though people tell me we're more enlightened, we most definitely are not. So, or people think, dudes who feel pretty can be women, like just nonsensical shit like that. So, yeah. So, like you said, that kind of common sense is not allowed. Common sense is not allowed anymore. That's for sure. So, all right, we're getting ready to wrap up this episode here. And, but again, yeah, if you, couldn't join until late, go ahead and watch the recording of this here. Check out the rest of this episode, all about Smile 2. And again, I'm going to be going over January 6th, the most deadliest day on Sunday there. It's almost like I'm stalling. I know, but we're going to get in here and get this show wrapped up. But let me show you first some locations that you should check out, that you should save as favorites in your browser. And the first one is solo.to/movies Merica. And what that page is that's a page with all the links to anything Movies Merica related. Okay. So there's a link to my X profile, a link to my critic list profile, my Facebook profile, Letterboxd, all that stuff is in there at solo.to/movies Merica. So if you want an easy one-stop shop location to go to for all my links, go ahead and save that as a favorite in your browser, and you're good to go from that, okay? And the next one is www.moviesmerica.com. Now, that's where you would go if you want to check out the podcast versions of my Movies Merica live show, the spoiler-free review show that I do on Sundays there. Now, I'll be honest with you, not the best way to go about it. Okay, you're probably better off at watching the show. So checking out the episodes where you see my lovely, lovely mug that are available on YouTube and Rumble live. Obviously, you're watching the live episode now. If you're watching it live, obviously the recordings are available on X and Rumble. And the reason I say that is because the podcast versions that you find on moviesmerica.com, I have to say that I am not above being bit by the procrastination bug as I adjust my eyeball here. And so a lot of times I don't get the podcast versions of my episodes out until like 5-6 days after I do the episodes. So if you want to see the episode the earliest, just watch the episodes on YouTube and Rumble. Otherwise, if you can't stand looking at this right here, okay, then yeah, you can check out the podcast only versions, and moviesmerica.com is one of the places you can see those or hear those. Also, I'm on YouTube. I'm also on Google Podcast and Apple Podcast and Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you would imagine you can find podcasts there, okay? Also, I'm on X and Instagram and Gab. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Pilled, all with the handle of @MoviesMerica, okay? And if you follow me on any of those platforms and you let me know, I'm going to follow you back, okay? And so the best way to let me know if you did follow me is if you go to my X profile @MoviesMerica and just DM me in there, direct message me in there, It's the little email button, little email, yeah, whatever. Up at the towards the top of my profile is a little email or letter, whatever. Okay, it's the envelope. If you click on that, that's how you DM me. Let me know that you follow me, and I will follow you back. All right. And the next is tdpn.locals.com. That's, again, our Till Death Podcast Network website with all kinds of great content, like movies and the movies. Let me do it again. Like videos and blogs and articles about movies and entertainment and all kinds of cool stuff in there. We have our merch store again that I mentioned before. You can click on the merch store link in the description down below and get yourself some cool merch like a Movies Merica t-shirt, a Movies Merica yoga pants. Now, only if you should wear yoga pants, okay? So you're not going to find me on the beach wearing a Movies Merica Speedo or a banana hammock or anything like that because I don't have the figure. I don't know. I'm not in shape enough to wear that. And probably even if I was, it's pretty fucking gay. All right. So, even if I look like, Alan Richson, or Ryan Gosling, still not going to wear a Speedo or a banana hammock, not going to do that. But so I practice what I preach. And so if you look like, if you've got 5 chins and you look like the Michelin Man, don't order any Movies Merica yoga pants and torture your fellow man by wearing them there. Okay, so, but hey, you get yourself a nice phone case or a shot glass or something like that, by all means, right there. So there you go. Now that I've offended all my my large and in charge members of my audience, sir. Okay. And then check out at Till Death Network, solo.to/Till Death Pod Network. Okay. So if you go there, that's the one-stop shop location for all links to everything Till Death Podcast Network related. Okay. So you don't want to hunt and peck all over Al Gore's worldwide interweb for all the Till Death Podcast Network stuff, right? No. Be smarter. Work smarter, not harder, and just save this as a favorite as well, and you're going to be in pretty damn good shape. The next one is solo.to/Till Death Studios. Now, where this would come into play is if you're a content creator like myself and you have a show like this and your show is feeling a little bland. You want to give it some flair, like at Tchotchkes on Office Space. You want to up your flair game. Well, you can go to solo.to/Till Death Studios, and my man Ian is going to hook you up with his skills that pay the bills. All right. So he'll create like a cool intro, like you saw earlier, like my movie Military Moment intro that you saw there, or the show intro, or cool overlay stuff like this, or the background that I have here. You can add that kind of flair to your show, thanks to my man Ian, but you got to take the first step and go to solo.to/Till Death Studios. All right. And then next we have solo.to/I'm Sean Cav. And that's where you go for all the links to everything Sean Cav related. Sean, as you know, is part of the triple threat team of the Whiskey Capitalist podcast. And then also he does a Sipping with Sean show every Friday afternoon via an X space there. If you know what X spaces are, you can check that out. Bet dollars to donuts. That solo.to/I'm Sean Cav is probably a pretty good place you could go to for the links to his Sipping with Sean show there. But that's what that URL is for. So save that as a favorite as well. And then next we have the solo.to/the Whiskey Capitalist web page. And you're probably detecting a pattern here. This is probably the one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with the Whiskey Capitalist podcast. Yes, that wacky and wild show that comes on every Monday and Wednesday nights, and then every other Tuesday night there. And that's a good place to go for the link to the show that's coming up here next, or a link to all their past episodes where you can check out their wacky and wild show with all their great guests right there. You can check out Ian and Sean and Casey there on that show. And then last but certainly not least, we have solo.to/Till Death Podcast. And that's the address, or that's the website for all the links that have to do with the show that started it all for the Till Death Podcast Network, the Till Death Podcast right there. And that's the show that features Ian and his lovely bride, Jen. And they go over the hot button topics of the day and politics and funnies and all that stuff But they do it, as a husband and wife team. Okay, so they cover all that stuff, but they first marinated in their marital mirth. Okay, and I did not mean that to sound disgusting and gross. So just don't pretend I didn't say that, and don't hold that against the show. That's my fault. But check out Till Death Podcast. That's every other Saturday afternoon. And again, I bet if you go to solo.to/Till Death Podcast, a really good place to find the links to their next episode or past episode right there. And it wouldn't be the worst idea to save that as a favorite right there. So go ahead and do it. Make life easy on yourself, everybody. That's the way you got to do it. All right. So we are on our way to wrapping this bad boy up here. But let's go ahead and check out, see if we got anybody right there. And there we go. Yeah, you've got that right there. The pussification of America's there. So yeah, too much of that out there. So because we I think it started off with that whole self-esteem initiative, right? So where we basically we pussified the kids by letting them know, hey, we can never tell you that you did it wrong, okay? So that you learn how to do it right, okay? We have to we basically we have this, we operate off this whole false premise that every kid is like this close to just killing themselves, right? Unless we kiss their ass and we tell them everything that they're doing is special, okay? So yeah, the whole self-esteem movement and that kind of thing. And I think that was born out of there being a generation of parents where they remember their parents being, hard on them, and being stern with them. And they're like, I am never going to raise my kids like that. I'm going to rebel against my parents, and I'm going to turn my kids into total pussies by telling them whatever they do is awesome and they never do anything wrong. And everybody, and if someone says that they did anything wrong, it's the other person that did the thing wrong. So that's we ran into the generation of parents who wouldn't correct their kids if they got a bad grade. You know who they'd correct? They'd run to the school and they'd get in the face of the teacher. So that's part of what led to the pussification of America right there. So yes, and as you just heard, you just got me off on a tangent right there, and congratulations to you on there. So says, gosh darn you, Rumble, put me back 5 minutes. What the hell? That's weird. And that's how really, it's definitely sounds like a little bit of a glitch, not a little bit, a lot of a glitch right there. That's very, very weird, but that's technology for you. But all that to say, hey, glad you could join the show there, Mr. Scott. Awesome there. Starts at starts 6 Central, and it usually goes a couple of hours there. So, but we are gonna wrap this bad boy up here. But hey, as always, get out there, people. Those movies aren't gonna watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, everybody! Hey! I got the police after me. They're coming after me, okay? But I got just enough time to ask you. Just like this video, if you would, and then subscribe to this channel, okay? I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. I gotta tell you. Hey, so before they haul me off, make sure you watch these videos over here, okay? And thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? I gotta go.